Alright. Hi, we are Lauren Scharfenberg and Sophia Reyes, and today our presentation is going to be on plate tectonics, movements, and boundaries with a specification of these actions in the state of Florida.
So our lesson is going to outline what we will be focusing on in our presentation. We're going to be focusing on three things, which are plate tectonics, plate boundaries, and plate movements. Regarding plate tectonics, we're going to give a little background on the discovering of plate tectonics. For plate boundaries, we're going to talk about the three kinds of plate boundaries, which are convergent, divergent, and transform boundaries. Lastly, for plate movements, we're just going to give a general outline to what it is exactly, how, and what that works.
Have you ever wondered how the highest and deepest points on Earth were formed? Well, we are going to briefly explain this to you today through our presentation.
To begin, Alfred Wegener presented the ideas of continental fit and drift in the early 1910s. Continental fit is the idea that continents once all fit together as a supercontinent, and this supercontinent was called Pangaea. To continue, continental drift is the idea that the continents separated from that supercontinent of Pangaea and drifted away from one another to their present-day positions.
Moving on, Harry Hess presented the idea of seafloor spreading. Seafloor spreading is the usual process at work at divergent plate boundaries. Seafloor spreading leads to the creation of new ocean floor. As two tectonic plates slowly separate, molten material rises up from within the mantle to fill the opening. Harry Hess also proposed the idea that the Earth's surface is broken into moving plates called tectonic plates. These plates, which make up the Earth's lithosphere, which is the Earth's crust and upper mantle, float on the semi-fluid asthenosphere below and move relative to each other. This causes geological events like earthquakes and volcanic activity. Hess's ideas were confirmed Wegener's to be true.
The Earth is divided into plates. So the plates are like slabs on the surface of the Earth's shell or lithosphere. All of our land and water sit on these plates. These plates are constantly in motion. Did you know the Earth's plates move around the planet's surface at the rate of a few centimeters every year?
Plate movement is when the Earth's crust, which as we said is divided into large tectonic plates, moves slowly on the semi-fluid asthenosphere due to convection currents in the mantle. These plates are constantly in movement and always have been.
As the plates move, boundaries are created. These are convergent, divergent, and transform.
First, we are going to talk about convergent plate boundaries. Convergent means to come together, and in this case, convergent boundaries occur when plates move towards one another. A fun fact about convergent boundaries is around 55 million years ago, two large land masses, which are India and Eurasia, collided with each other, resulting in the Himalayan mountain chains. This specific occurrence is called continental-continental convergence.
Occurrences at convergent boundaries consist of mountain ranges, ocean trenches, island arcs, earthquakes, and tsunamis. Another fun fact we have about convergent boundaries is that sometimes one plate divides beneath the other. This is called an ocean-ocean convergence, and it results in the formation of deep trenches like the Marianas Trench.
Next, we are going to talk a bit about divergent plate boundaries. Divergent means to move away or to extend in opposite directions. So in this case, divergent boundaries occur when two tectonic plates move away from each other. An example of this could be when two lithospheric plates are spread apart It is common for new crusts to form as molten material rises to the surface. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge is formed in this process.
A couple of examples of occurrences at divergent plate boundaries are mid-ocean ridges, rift valleys, which are oceanic, and valleys which are non-oceanic.
Lastly, we have transform plate boundaries. Transform means to change, and transform boundaries specifically happen when the plates grind past each other without going up or down. Transform plate boundaries are capable of triggering devastating earthquakes. A famous example is the San Andreas Fault in California.
Examples of occurrences at transform plate boundaries are earthquakes, as we explained in the previous slide, and also faults, fault valleys, as well as canyons.
Now we are going to get into our Florida-specific component of this presentation. First, we will talk about the formation of the Florida Plateau. The Florida Plateau was formed about 530 million years ago by volcanic activity and marine sedimentation. Next, we will cover the breakup of Pangaea. About 230 million years ago, the supercontinent Pangaea broke up, and Florida's basement rocks split from Africa and became attached to the North American plate. Third, we will talk about how Florida's location is affected by plate tectonics. Florida is located between the North and South American plates, and during the Jurassic, a transformed plate boundary connected the Central Atlantic and the Gulf of Mexico, which spread systems in the region of southern Florida. Lastly, we want to mention igneous rocks in Florida. Magma from deep within the earth rises toward the surface near active plate boundaries. When magma reaches the surface and cools, it forms extrusive or volcanic igneous rock.
In summary, plate tectonics teaches us that plates are constantly shifting and will always be in movement. Also, the three types of plate boundaries, which are convergent, divergent, and transform, are sections of the earth where the crust fits together.
Here are our 3 outside of class required references for this presentation. Thank you.